Welcome to another episode of the brand called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm privileged to welcome a very senior, respected, and felicitated professional leader from the social sector from the UK, talking to us today from India, Mr. Devendra Kumar. Devendra ji, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor to be with you here, interacting with such personality who have, immense experience, knowledge, and especially, the life experiences to
Thank
see
you.
of others and your own, and making such big brands.
Thank you
It's
so much.
huge. It's huge.
Thank you, Devenji. Devenji is the founder of the Ladli Foundation Trust. He was a child laborer and he is now a national award winning grassroots volunteer. And given the incredible work he has done over the years, understandably, Devendraji has been recognized, felicitated, and awarded several times. And I can see several awards over his left shoulder. So, Devendra, my first question to you, you began life in extremely difficult circumstances. What inner strength helped you to move from survival to service?
Sir, it was totally the blessings of Almighty. It was not me that struggled. It was not me who have been privileged from underprivileged. It was completely the blessings of the people of the society who took my hand when I was in need. It was totally that. And that was not my struggle, that was my training.
Hmm.
I feel that if I have not been trained in those circumstances, I would have not been empathetic. I would not have been sensitive towards the cause for which I am passionate now. So
Hmm.
that passion was ignite at that time of period only.
Amazing. And tell me a little bit about your early years and how did your early years shape your understanding of dignity and opportunity?
So I was 2 year old when my parents abandoned me in slum.
Okay.
And when they abandoned me, I was having 3 days infant sister on my lap.
Wow.
So when they abandoned me, some of my extended family relatives took me, and just to protect me from juvenile delinquency, they put me into the selling balloons, so
Hmm.
that my spare time should not be targeted by the juvenile delinquents who used to engage the young children or the young people into the substance abuse. So that how my life has started. But when
Wow.
I started selling balloons, because I was not having the parental control, no safe space, so I was used to beaten by number of gangs and delinquents. So just to seek this safe shelter, I don't know how this idea came in my mind. It was completely, that is why I always say it was completely a blessing
Hmm.
that some positive energies have given me a direction to go into the volunteering in the evening hours with the local police, where the local police used to engage these kind of delinquents into the sports. That
Hmm.
is how I started volunteering there, and then became friend of those boys who used to beat me. Then also to friend with the local police. Then they protected me and given me a safe shelter. And later on, this practice has become passion for me,
Amazing.
because that is how I have engaged myself into the families of these young boys. And then when I used to took these boys to the sports instead of substance abuse, instead of drug use, so
Hmm.
their family members started liking me and appreciating me. So that
Hmm.
appreciation and that food for night in their home have become fuel for me,
Hmm.
and that took me here. So that
Very
that that is
amazing.
that is something. Yeah.
Very amazing. And Devendra, you just mentioned 2-year-old with a 3-day-old sister. Where
Yeah.
is your sister now?
Yeah, so my sister is happily married now. Yeah, I struggled a lot for her only,
Huh.
just to protect her from child marriage, protect her from different kind of atrocities and exploitation.
Huh.
That was my struggle, and that was my motivation behind founding Ladli.
Hmm.
So she was my Ladli, because in India, to a
Yeah.
young girl or to a girl, when you love her and you call a beloved woman called Ladli. So she
Hmm.
was my Ladli, and she's very happy now. She has two kids. Yes, she couldn't get education after sixth grade, and I couldn't get education after 10th grade, but
Hmm.
we both are happy without education.
Absolutely. And I think you have achieved so much otherwise. So let's talk about the Ladli Foundation, Devenji.
Yeah.
You already told me why you named the foundation. Tell me about the work that you do in the foundation.
Yeah. So, Gaksab, Ladli is currently India's largest grassroots implementing organization.
Hmm.
We call ourselves a volunteering organization. We call ourselves a social organization. We are not a
Hmm.
development organization. So
Hmm.
we are not behind seeking funds. We are not behind seeking grants or donations.
Hmm.
On our website page in donate section, we also say that we encourage you to contribute through your efforts
Hmm.
rather than donating money to us. So what we believe that big changes can only bring through hands,
Hmm.
not just money. Money is an important part, but the primarily focus is hands. So we want to
Hmm.
play the hand part, and that is how we are seeking the hands, and that is how in last 13 years we have become the largest volunteering organization in the country.
Wow.
And that is how we have 1.16 lakhs volunteers with us who to whom we have skilled in the volunteering. Volunteering doesn't mean just that we are providing food, we are providing shelter, we are providing clothes. No. Why we are providing, how we are providing, to whom we are providing, and what is the impact and what is the outcome, the
Hmm.
measurable outcome. This is what we teach to our volunteers. We make them skilled volunteers. So
Hmm.
our vision is to have at least one skilled volunteer in one family. So
Hmm.
this is on this pattern. Ladli is working at a very large scale now.
Hmm.
We are having our projects in 16 states of India. We are having our projects in Johannesburg in South Africa also. We are in US based also. We are a 501(c)(3) organization in US. We are a non-profit corporation in Africa, and in India we are a two-time national award-winning organization and also having special consultative status with United Nations. So
Amazing.
Ladli started from a very small grassroots organization, have become an international grassroots implementing agency. This is the Ladli, sir.
How amazing. You've also spoken globally about child marriage. What have you learned from working directly with girls who have been at risk of child marriage?
Sir, what we see that we should not work on a paper just.
Hmm.
There are, I don't want to discourage those organizations who are working intensively on a child marriage, but their approach is not practical. This
Hmm.
is what I have understood from my personal experiences.
Right.
Because I struggled a lot to protect my sister from child marriage.
Hmm.
So the way is being implemented by an international sector, like
Hmm.
having a signature campaign to reduce the child marriage or to protect a girl child. This is not a practical approach.
Correct.
How can you protect the girls by having a signature campaign?
Hmm.
Huh? The girls who are being having facing the early marriage issues or the child marriage issue, their
Hmm.
parents are not or able to have the participate in the signature campaigns to get the
Hmm.
motivation.
Hmm.
This is we have to understand. Due to lack of social protection, these girls are being trapped and these girls are being forced into the child marriages. Because
Hmm.
if a woman is her husband is drunkard, 24 hour, he's just lying down in a slum after drinking. And that lady who has 4 or 5 children, she's going out for work, for a domestic work, and she's just cooking in 4 or 5 house. He's, washing the utensil in 4 or 5 house. So how she will feel safe that my daughter is safe at my home?
Hmm.
So the concern arised from her social protection, because this is how that we have seen there are mothers who don't allow their daughters to take bath for 2 months.
Hmm.
They want they looks dirty. They want them to smell so that no one can attempt on her.
My
This is
God.
the real situation that we have to understand, that child marriage is not just a concern for development sector in the manner of awareness. No, it cannot be eliminated through awareness generation. It
Wow.
has different constraint. It has different pain which has to be addressed through providing the welfare based approach, not just
Hmm.
awareness based approach. We have to
Hmm.
give them a social protection. This is how we are
Amazing.
working on that.
Amazing. Amazing. And tell me, based on all the work that you're doing in so many countries, you told me in India, of course, but in South Africa and in parts of the US, how can communities change harmful traditions without losing their cultural identity?
So this is what we have to learn. Every demography has a cultural existence.
Correct.
And whenever you want to destroy a nation, this is have been told that you destroy their culture, you destroy their civilization, and destroy their philosophy. It will
Correct.
destroy. So this is what that if you really would like to protect people of any region, you have to
Hmm.
preserve the culture.
Hmm.
That is very, very important because that is in their blood.
Hmm.
So this is how we did. So Ladli is based out of a formulation where we cater the traditional belief for a sustainable development. I will
Hmm.
give you one small example of it. So two of our big flagship programs are run based out of cultural innovations. The
Mhm.
one called Samohik Viva and the one called Kanya Pujan. So
Hmm.
Samohik Viva is a tradition where you know that young girls are being trapped through marriages,
Hmm.
through fake marriages, through double marriages, and they are in a very planned way. What they do, the rackets they target these young and vulnerable and poor girls, and through fake marriages, they take into the forced prostitution. This
Hmm.
is how we have reduced. I'm not saying that I have eliminated. We have reduced the risk of these kind of practices by organizing the Samohik Viva, mass weddings,
Hmm.
where engaging the community and the influential personalities for taking the oath, a sankalp and a kanya gotra dan through privileged families for the
Hmm.
underprivileged one
Very
and
interesting.
have been provided a shelter to them. And
Hmm.
this is now recently on 30th March, I did a big mass wedding where 51 IS IPS officers were present there and they took the responsibility being a yajman and a social parents of these 51 vulnerable girls. And now they are in contact. This is how we are doing from last 12 years and 21, more than 2100 girls have been married with through us
Amazing.
and only 3 or 4 divorce cases that we have been reported it. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that these practices can reduce the risk of domestic violence or other risk. No, no, I'm not guarantee for that. But yes, we are reducing the risk of trafficking. We are reducing the risk of gang rapes. We are reducing the risk of forced prostitution. There are a number of exploitation or heinous crime that we are successfully reducing.
Very
At the
nice.
same time, we have another intervention called Kanya Pujan.
Hmm.
Every year, 2 times Navratras come. People call the young girls at home and they feed them and give the 5 rupees coin and to seek the blessings. I said, no, this is not Kanya Pujan. You have to make it sustainable. Then we invented sustainable Kanya Pujan. If a
Hmm.
girl is, we created awareness through big influential leaders. Like
Hmm.
if a girl is coming to your home, do not call 9 girls, 10 girls, 20 girls. Call one
Hmm.
girl as per
Hmm.
your capacity. If you have a capacity to invite 10 girls, then invite 10. But at least promise them that you will invite them till 9 years repeatedly. So
Hmm.
every year they will come to your house twice in a year. And every time what you are giving them, not just food, give them health kits, give them health insurance, give them promise of their education. If they are not
Hmm.
able to, deposit their fees into the school, that they do not have tuition fees, please help them into that. Do not give the direct money to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So this is how that we have created, and now people have believed that we are following our cultural rituals also at the same time we are providing direct benefit. So this
Hmm.
is what we say that do is better than donate. So this is our
Very
formula.
interesting.
Yeah.
I love this line, do is better than donate. Fantastic. Devendraji, your work also combines compassion with execution. How do you convert empathy into measurable impact?
Sir, compassion is not in the hand of human thing, sir.
Hmm.
Compassion is something that drives you through positive energies only. I can't be compassionate.
Hmm.
Till the time I have not been chosen for that. Till
Hmm.
the time my purpose is not aligned for that. Till the time I am not passionate for that.
Hmm.
So this is something I really want to say this is so this for to experience this you have to acknowledge that this is not you.
Hmm.
So the moment you are saying that you are doing this, if I will say that I am doing this, I cannot be compassionate.
Hmm.
That compassion will not be there.
Yeah.
This is something where I have been chosen. This is something that I have been empowered for that. If I have not been empowered by Almighty for this, if a child laborer, a person born in slum, now running an organization that has a turnover of 100 crore rupees and have impacted more than 90 million USD. So it cannot be me. It is not
Mm.
at all me. It is not at all me. If I'll
Mm.
say this is miracle, yes, it can be say a miracle, but it is completely a positive energy, the good synergies. The
Mm.
people around you, when they feel that yes, you have a good intent, then community comes to support you. So
Mm.
this is what I say, that you may not have received much in your legacy, but the society will be with you with greater things. Be willing to accept, and you have to have patience and dedication and determination for that. This is the
Very
only thing
interesting.
that you can do.
Very, very interesting. You have worked in education and digital inclusion. How can technology reduce inequality and help you to in all the causes that you are working on?
Sir, I say that currently when I'm working in India, so this is the biggest divide of this decade.
Mm.
Digital divide is the biggest divide of this decade. So
Mm.
I just give you an example. In 2020, when we all suffered from COVID pandemic,
Mm.
1.6 billion students were out of school across the globe.
Yeah.
So the students who were having the computers, laptops in their family, they continued their education.
Mm.
But the underprivileged students who have never been taught on the laptops, on computers, on a phone, so they were far behind. There is a big gap has been
Yeah.
created. And
Yeah.
after the COVID, what happened? We
Mm.
were the one who introduced the premium digital subscription in the phone of the marginalized students' parents,
Mm.
that has enabled them to continuing their education and to bridging the gap. I
Mm.
just give you one recent example. This what we have done. We have provided 400 computer labs in the government schools of Delhi. Before 2 years, there were not even a single school were having the computer lab. And
Mm.
there is a mandate by the government that the students who wish to seek the admission in the central universities, they must comply or qualify the computer-based testing. Now
Mm.
tell me, the girl who have never been touched the keyboard, who have never been touched the mouse, how she can give the exam in the computer?
Mm.
So this is what that these kind of gaps we are trying to bridge. So
Mm.
not just providing the software, we also have to provide the hardware. We also
Correct.
have to provide that kind of infrastructure. This is what we have provided to the
Mm.
government as per our capacity and without seeking a single money from anyone, without
Mm.
seeking a single rupee from the government. This is
Amazing.
what that we are trying to bridge this.
Amazing.
And this is
Amazing.
very, very important because
Yeah.
if a girl is not getting their higher education, she will get married at an early age. This
Correct.
is one girl told me while crying, Sir, even after bringing the 99% marks, I will not get admission in college because I
Mm.
have to qualify a computer based test for that. And I have not been taught for that. I have no experience, in hand experience to how to use the computer. How can I compete with those
Mm.
children who has a 50% mark,
Mm.
but they have laptop, they are pro. So this is a big, big gap, sir.
I
This is a
agree.
big gap,
I agree. I agree.
sir.
And therefore, a follow-up question to you, Devendraji, is what misconceptions do privileged people have about poverty?
Sir, it is not misconception, sir. It is a reality, sir.
Mm.
It is 100% reality. And what I always say that whenever you see the reforms,
Mm.
it doesn't comes from downside to upside. It is
Mm.
always comes from upside towards downside, sir.
Correct.
Whatever privileged people do, we underprivileged follow that. If I'm saying a sociabaji in a marriage, the big fat wedding, why a underprivileged girl is suffering from not getting married at right age, it's just because of that privileged people is showcasing this wedding like anything and it's being
Mm.
broadcast at the TV. So
Mm.
this is what that every girl has that aspiration, every family, every boy that has aspiration that I should also have that kind of big fat wedding. So this is what that society, once we say the privilege section, we have
Mm.
to make a slogan like Nokia has made, connecting people. It is not like that. It should be connecting privilege with underprivileged. This is very,
Mm.
very important. And this is why our interventions are designed where we say that do not donate to us. direct take a responsibility of one underprivileged family, and we are there to help you how to design the intervention and how to implement that, and we will measure the impact and we'll give you a report that how impact you have created. This is the
Hmm.
kind of platform that we are creating.
Amazing. Can you share one? I'm sure there are many, many success stories, but can you share one success story that reminds you and my viewers and listeners of why the amazing work that you're doing is actually mattering a lot?
Sir, in 2012, we found Ladli.
Hmm.
So we were just doing only mass weddings every year. And we realized that not just marriage is important, we have to empower these girls who skilling. Then if they can become self-reliant. So we have tried and we have opened a skill center where we were used to provide computer not as a language, sorry, computer as a skill, and the English training as a skill, not as a language.
Hmm.
So that those girls who wash the utensil in the domestic help they used to work, we invited those girls to be a part into our activities and a training. This is what that we started. Where one girl, her family was stopped her education after 12th. She belongs to a scheduled caste family. A very young girl after 12th quit her
Hmm.
education and came to us that she wanted to complete her education in a college.
Hmm.
So we were giving any kind of direct benefit because we were not having, because lakhs of girls are like this.
Yeah.
So we said that we cannot give money to you. So she insisted that I am ready to give my skill to these lower students. I will give coaching to them for a computer or English. Instead, in lieu of that, you just bear my tuition fees or the college fees. So it shocked me.
Hmm.
I thought of that she's not asking money from me. She's saying that I will teach your beneficiary, but in lieu of that, you give this to directly to thee. And
Hmm.
that is how I shocked. And I having goosebumps of that. So that girl, we enrolled. We given her a small stipend and her college fees. Then 2 years she worked with us. She got education. She got admission in the college. She topped the college. Then
Wow.
after college, she joined Ladli as a volunteer. Then, after 1 year, she joined as an employee. She became chief coordinator in Ladli, and I'm proud to say that she is the trustee of Ladli
How amazing.
International. And
How
she's a
amazing.
two-time national award winner. She's one-time international Dyna award winner, and she's the owner of Ladli. मतलब
Amazing.
the trustee means owner of Ladli.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the success story that I see that मुझे इससे बड़ा सक्सेस स्टोरी नहीं मिला
Absolutely.
where my
Absolutely.
one of my beneficiary who came to me just to seek a help, and now she's leading and running the organization at international.
Fantastic.
So this is
Fantastic.
what I have said.
Fantastic. I have time for two more questions now. If you were given 1 hour with India's top policymakers, what three changes would you ask for?
Yeah, there are many changes, sir. The one that we have to make a women health ministry separately,
Hmm.
because current health ministry is not able to cater the whole women centric approach in terms
Hmm.
of health, because women health is not just a women health. It
Correct.
is not related to normal health issues. Women
Yeah.
health start from the adolescents. It has, है ना? So that is, and we have to have a women health ministry,
Yeah.
because number of schemes in women child ministries, number of schemes in rural development ministries, number of schemes in agriculture ministries, water sanitation ministries are directly related to women health. I
Hmm.
want to centralize those schemes for a women welfare. And I said
Hmm.
in UN, in Commission for Status of Women in 2021, in front of
Hmm.
Secretary General of UN, I said that till the time you will not prioritize the health concern for women, you cannot achieve gender equality.
Hmm.
Especially in developing nation, you have to cater the health issues of women at a very early
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
Because especially in India, when a girl child born, if she is suffering from pneumonia and TB, na, their parents are not giving them treatment. They want
Hmm.
them to die.
Hmm.
So it start from a zero stage. So
Absolutely.
women health ministry is not a child ministry or not a health ministry. It should be a women health ministry,
Hmm.
especially for targeting a girl child to a elder lady. So this
Hmm.
is what that one I would like to
Yeah.
propose. The
Yeah.
second, I want that segregation of youth ministry and sports ministry,
Hmm.
because youth and sports ministry is just a game, because youth ministry do not have their own budget. All the
Mm.
attentions, everything is towards sports ministry, because that has a glamour or something. So
Mm.
once you would be having a separate youth ministry, separate minister for that, separate big budget for that, then from starting from adolescent age, you can have some policies related to the volunteering. Currently, you have, but that
Mm.
is not effective. You should have a volunteering act like
Mm.
sports quota. How the student is engaged in the sports, they are getting benefit of sports quota to getting the higher education. Then why a young boy who's inclined towards the social cause and providing the direct benefit to the society, why can't be provided quota for that once he is the national awardee or he is recognized by the government?
Yeah.
And at the same time, why he cannot provide those related skills to give them into the entrepreneurship or these kind of wing models where they can facilitate for that. And the
Mm.
third, I would want to change the government, this a kind of an ecosystem government has created for startups. Like young people can come into the
Mm.
startups. Now they are
Mm.
forming the big companies,
Mm.
like they are getting the leverages of tax benefit, they are getting the
Mm.
leverages of funding, they are getting leverages of multiple incubations and all. The same thing should be provided to the social entrepreneurs.
Mm.
Currently, the number of people who, after leaving the corporate job, they wanted to create the social impact at grassroots level because they have passion.
Yeah.
And this is I say this is kind of a virus. This is, social work is a virus.
Yeah.
Someone is infected with this, they are
Mm.
passionate for this. So
Correct.
there are a number of youth who are inclined towards the society, and they do not have any kind of platform for that.
Mm.
You have to form a Section 8 company or a trust or an NGO, and you have to struggle for 3 years for to seek the initial funding. And even to get the tax exemption certificate, you have to pay in lakhs,
Mm.
and they have no mechanism for that. And the
Right.
CSR is now have become a strategic investment of the companies. The
Correct.
companies are putting the CSR into just to getting the benefit from the back doors. So
Mm.
this is not something called ecosystem. The
Yeah.
way the government has, extremely good work did in the terms of startup ecosystem, the
Mm.
same kind of ecosystem should be created for the social impact organization or the social entrepreneurs who directly would like to give the benefit to the society, because we have to reduce the administrative cost. The
Mm.
much we will be having the bigger organization, they will hire the youngsters, but they have an admin cost. One,
Correct.
our youngsters would directly able to implement the designated programs at the grassroots level, or my volunteers would be provided the resources to implement the grassroots, then it will reduce the administrative cost, it
Mm.
will reduce many other things. So these kind of
Absolutely.
three policy changes I would like to.
Absolutely. Amazing. All three are amazing thoughts. And my last question for you, Devenji. You have been recognized nationally and internationally. How do you stay so grounded?
सर आई ऑलवेज से वन थिंग, हिंदी में जमीन पे रहते हैं तो गिरने का डर नहीं लगता.
बहुत अच्छा.
So the one thing is that if you have seen those brandings of Pulse Polio or any other brand that
Yeah.
is being printed on balloon,
Hmm.
so that balloon's visibility is not about balloon. The
Hmm.
visibility of balloon and that ad is based out of that rope that is tied on the ground.
Correct.
तो अगर आपने वो नोट खोल दिया ना तो बलून उड़ जाएगा सर, फिर पैसे नहीं
Hmm.
मिलेंगे उसके.
Hmm.
So till that time I am on a ground, sir, I am visible.
Absolutely.
So my visibility is not based out of that with whom I'm sitting now.
Hmm.
Yes, it is true that today I'm sitting with the policymakers. Today I'm sitting with the presidents of India and everyone. That is completely different thing, sir. That is the blessing that I have that access or have been provided that. But till that time I'm on a ground, I am
Hmm.
visible. The
Very good.
visibility is not based out of how upside you are sitting. The visibility is about how lower side you are remained. So that is
Hmm.
very, very important, sir.
Amazing. And on that note, I just want to say, Devenji, what an amazing conversation this has been. Your story, I know has been talked about a lot already, but I'm quite privileged to be able to say that I'm taking your story from the time you were a 2-year-old with a 3-day-old sister to what you have created in the Ladli Foundation, empowered so many people, enabled 2,100 girls to get married, And I just love your thoughts on creating a separate women health ministry, a separate youth ministry from sports ministry, and create an ecosystem for the social entrepreneurship as well. Thank you so much for speaking to me, and all the very best to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.